You're listening to Void Signal, Episode 3, No Bodies. This is ship log, Ulysses Miner 07, comms officer Lena Imani reporting. We've returned from the research station Helios 9 with their logs and their secrets. According to procedure, we did everything right. According to common sense, we should never have docked at all. The Helios files are sitting in our system now. Encrypted. Corrupted. Waiting. On paper, it's just data. But every time I walk past the main console, I feel like something inside it is holding its breath. We detached from Helios 9 as gently as we could. Mag clamps released with a shiver. Thrusters nudged us away from the broken ring of metal and regret. On the external cameras, the station shrank, its dark windows staring after us like empty eyes. The distress signal kept playing. Even as we pulled back, even as the distance grew, it stabbed at our comms every 60 seconds. "Help," it whispered. Over and over, like a mantra. Ray's ordered a hard filter. We blocked the frequency at the console level. On the displays, the waveform flattened. On the speakers, silence. Inside my helmet, it still rang. Once we were clear, the Ulysses turned away, engines spooling up, plotted course drifting back toward our original mining route. Helios 9 slipped out of sight. On any chart, it was behind us. On every nerve, it was still ahead. The crew scattered to their duties. That's what you do after a scare. You fall back into routine, wrap yourself in normal motions, so the fear has fewer places to land. Jules went back to navigation, double-checking trajectories that didn't need checking. O'Malley disappeared into engineering, muttering about power draw and magnetic flux. Singh made a slow, thorough walk of every corridor with a scanner in his hands, and his jaw clenched tight. I stayed on the bridge, alone with the Helios data. The download had split into dozens of files. Research logs, security reports, medical notes, fragments of things with names like behavioral mapping trial and signal modulation study. The last few were locked behind layers of encryption that Helios hadn't had time to finish. I opened the first accessible log. Internal memo, Helios 9. It began. Subject, unexpected side effects of exposure. The voice was a woman's, tired and clipped. She talked about a signal they were studying, something they'd dug out of deep space like a fossil made of sound. She said they believed it was artificial, designed to alter nervous systems, to teach organic brains a new pattern. It always starts with the same symptoms, she said. Insomnia, auditory hallucinations, a vague sense of being watched, even in secure areas. I paused the log. My finger hovered over the control. Outside the bridge, I could hear the faint vibration of the ship, the distant echo of footsteps as someone crossed a walkway. Inside my head, there was another sound. A soft, patient tapping, like someone drumming fingers on the inside of a wall. I told myself it was my pulse. I resumed the recording. After 72 hours of repeated exposure, the Helios doctor continued. Subjects report hearing their own voices from outside their bodies. Shortly after that, we begin losing track of who we have already tested. Losing track, I repeated under my breath. That phrase bothered me. You don't just lose track of people on a sealed station. I switched to a security log. The clip showed a corridor not unlike our own, but older, more cramped. A man in a uniform strode past the camera, head down, tablet in hand. The timestamp marked the moment. 10 seconds later, the same man walked by in the opposite direction, tablet still in hand, moving just a little differently. Same uniform, same face, different blink rate. The security officer, narrating the clip, sounded exhausted. "We have confirmed duplicates," he said. "They behave almost identically, but there are micro differences in motor control. We believe the entity can copy us, but it's learning fine movement as it goes." I closed the log. A cold sweat had started along the back of my neck. "Everything all right, Lena?" I jumped. Ray stood in the doorway, one hand braced on the frame, helmet off, lines etched deeper into his face. "Fine," I said a little too quickly. "Just going through their files." He stepped onto the bridge, eyes flicking over the displays. "How bad?" he asked. I thought of the duplicate in the hallway. The way the security officer had said, "We believe," instead of "we know." The phrase, "we begin losing track." "Bad," I said. "But we caught it in time. We never lowered our guard. We never let anything on board." Even as I said it, a part of me flinched. Back in the command module, that impossible transmission had slipped into my comms. My voice, from a future that hadn't happened yet. I hadn't told him. Ray's nodded slowly. "Keep pulling what you can from their records," he said. "If there's anything that helps us understand that thing, I want it on my desk yesterday." He turned to go. Then he paused, looking at the main viewport. Out there, the stars were a calm scatter of light on velvet. No sign of Helios 9. No sign of anything at all. "Funny," he said. "After all that, it looks exactly the same." "That's the problem with space," I answered. "It never looks like it just tried to kill you." He huffed a small, humorless laugh and left. I stayed, watching the starfield. After a minute, the tapping in my head stopped. Hours later, we met in the mess hall. That's when everything snapped. The mess on a long-haul ship is never really empty. There's always someone nursing a drink, poking at a ration bar, complaining about gravity or corporate quotas. That night, half the chairs were filled, but the room felt hollow. Jules sat staring at a cold cup of coffee, stirring it without drinking. O'Malley flipped a utensil between his fingers, dropping it every few seconds like his hands didn't quite remember the trick. Singh stood near the door, not eating, eyes scanning everyone's faces as if he expected one of them to peel off and reveal something underneath. I took a tray I wasn't hungry for, just to have something to hold. "So," O'Malley said finally, "are we going to talk about the part where the haunted science station had no bodies?" Jules flinched. "Don't call it haunted," she muttered. He shrugged. "Got a better word." Singh answered. "Wrong," he said. "It felt wrong." "That's enough." I sat down. "The logs say the entity could copy people," I said. "That it learned how to mimic them. Voices, faces, habits." "Yeah, but that doesn't make bodies disappear," O'Malley said. He forced a grin. "Unless it eats them, I guess." "Is that what you're thinking? We dealing with some kind of smart space piranha?" No one laughed. "The station's crew quarantine sections," I said. "Sealed doors. Emergency lockdowns. If we'd had more time, we might have found a morgue full of them." "But we didn't," Singh said. And I walked every corridor we had access to. No blood pools. No bone fragments. No personal effects in piles. Just scratches. Stains. And those weird handprints. I swallowed. I hadn't told him about the one with the 2 long fingers. "Maybe they spaced the bodies," Jules offered quietly. "Maybe they thought that would slow it down." "Then where are the logs?" Singh shot back. "Where's the record of the airlock cycles? Helios logged everything, even their bad ideas." "Why not that?" The room fell silent again. There's a moment when a group realizes they're all thinking the same thing, and no one wants to be the one to say it first. I could feel us teetering there, on the edge of it. "Maybe," I started, then stopped. "Maybe what?" O'Malley pressed. "Maybe there weren't any bodies to find because the thing didn't need them anymore," I said quietly. "Maybe it learned how to move on without leaving pieces behind." "Great," he said. "So it cleans up after itself." Very polite. Jules put her head in her hands. "I hate this conversation," she said. "So do I," Singh replied. That's why I'm going to say something ugly. He looked at each of us in turn. We can't prove that everyone who came back from Helios 9 came back right, he said. We can't prove that everyone in this room is who they say they are. My scalp prickled. I became suddenly, painfully aware of my own breathing, my own blinking, the way my fingers curled around the tray. I wondered what a copy of me would get wrong. O'Malley snorted. "Oh, come on," he said. "You think you'd be able to tell if I was a shape-stealing space monster? I'd be taller. Better hair." "Joke all you want," Singh said. The Helios logs showed identical copies on camera. The security staff didn't notice until they caught them from 2 angles at once. Whatever that thing is, it's good. And it's better now that it's had time to practice. Jules looked up slowly. "Are you saying we should, what? Test each other? Lock people up?" "I'm saying we need procedures," Singh replied. "We need tells. Codes that only we would know. Things that are hard to copy, because they're not on record anywhere. Memories, I thought. Private jokes. The way someone holds their mug or leans in a doorway. Tiny, intimate details. Let's start simple," Singh said. He pointed at me. "Lena, tell me something only you would know about Rays." I blinked. "Why Rays?" I asked. "Because he's not here," Singh said. "And captains are prime targets in every story like this." It was a fair point. I thought about Rays. His gruff voice. His carefully neutral expressions. The way he watched his crew like he was always counting us. "He hums under his breath when he's stressed," I said. "Old Earth songs. No lyrics, just the tune. He doesn't realize he's doing it." Singh nodded. "Okay. Next time we're in a crisis, we listen," he said. "If he doesn't hum, we ask questions." It wasn't much. It was something. We went around the table, trading secrets about each other. Jules always taps the nav console 3 times before a jump. O'Malley never eats the blue ration bars, claims they taste like floor cleaner. Singh has a scar on his shoulder in the shape of a crooked star from a training accident. Little things. Human things. We built a fragile web of them between us, hoping it would catch anything that wasn't real. When we finally broke up and drifted back to our stations, I felt lighter. Not safe. Just less alone. On my way back to the bridge, I passed storage bay 3. The door was closed, lights off usual. I kept walking. Half a second later, I stopped. The status panel next to the bay door blinked a message. "Pressure warning," it said. "Containment breach." I frowned and stepped closer. The warning vanished. The display went back to normal green text. I told myself it was a glitch. We'd been pushing the systems hard. Old ships made weird noises, flashed strange errors. Then, from behind the door, I heard it. A soft, deliberate footstep. Just one. Too heavy to be a rat in the walls. Too purposeful to be shifting cargo. I held my breath. Silence. "Hello," I called. My voice sounded thin in the hallway. No answer. I reached for the door control, then stopped with my hand hovering over it. Every hair on my arm stood on end. Singh's words echoed in my head. "We can't prove that everyone who came back from Helios 9 came back right." I took a step back from the door. Then another. I made a note in my log to have Singh scan the bay later. I did not open it. On the bridge, alone again, I pulled up the internal crew manifest. Names. Photos. Vitals. All green. All present. No bodies missing. No alerts. According to the system, everything was fine. Everybody was where they were supposed to be. According to the part of my brain that still believed in monsters under the bed. We had a new problem. Helios 9 had no bodies. Our ship had no bodies. And somewhere in between, something had learned to clean up its mess. This is ship log, Ulysses Miner 07. We brought the signal back with us. I'm starting to think it brought something else. End of entry.